This is Mixtape Talk's Recovery Report, and I'm your host, Nicci B, featuring co-host Coleman Baird. Our mission is to empower you through action steps to rewrite your recovery story. Hey friends, welcome to Volume 1 of our Recovery Report. And with me today is a local recovery advocate. He's going to be helping me co-host on tons of topics to help you learn how to live a productive life in recovery. Welcome, Coleman Baird.
Hello. Well, hello, my name is Coleman Baird, and as she said, I am part of the recovery community here in Bismarck, where we have a pocket of enthusiasm here.
So true.
And I'm really excited to get this podcast going and to help, spread the news of what your life can be like.
Yeah, so how, kind of in a nutshell, what's going on in your life? I know that you are in recovery, so how did you end up here?
So,
that's a loaded question.
It's a very loaded question. So, I ended up here through a sober house, actually. I came kicking and screaming, to tell you the truth. I came kicking and screaming to recovery through prison, through a lot of bad choices, and a lot of people have said this, that, my best thinking got me loaded, my best thinking got me drunk, and my best thinking got me high, and so I was out of options, and so I literally, I was facing a federal indictment, and I was getting paroled from state prison to my federal indictment, and my attorney told me, well, you might be able to get out on pretrial release and go to a sober living home, one here in town named Hope Manor.
Right.
And I was accepted, and it really changed my life there. It shotgunned me into the right way, into the way of living that I had never known before. The great thing about the sober living is it wasn't my recovery, right? But it was a great foundation to have a safe place to live.
Yeah.
It taught me basic life skills again, things that we all forget when we're in our active addiction. When we only care about us and what we're doing, we forget about how to take care of laundry. Where to buy,
adulting.
That we clean our house. Those kinds of things.
Bills.
Pay the bills.
Put gas in the car when it's not on empty.
So to keep me
structured.
Yeah, the structure. There was a lot of structure there. And then the great thing is they funneled me into a 12-step program. I love
that. Kind of going back on those life skills, I think that's so common that you see, people who are in recovery, new in recovery. I know for myself, when I was kind of starting out, I had a gal who was a life skills specialist, go with me to fill out an application for college, teach me how to shop and things like that. And so I think that's really great that, sometimes we kind of have to go back to the basics and the fundamentals in order to actually, move forward in life.
Almost every single thing, even when you think about sports, when you really are, when something's wrong, you go back to the basics, right? And that's exactly what I had to do. I had to go back to and that's where you find the humility.
Yeah.
That's where you find the humility to really get going again and give this thing to something more than you.
So good. So, tell us about. You're here. We weren't sure that you were going to be here. So talk about that.
So, I was able to be on pretrial release, as I said earlier, and what that means is that I still had that federal indictment hanging over my head. And so, even though I did not know what the outcome was, I just figured that, if I wanted to be free, I needed to change my life. Right. And I don't necessarily, and yes, of course, I had, two different motives. When I first got out, my motive was to be free. And when I say free, I mean free from being behind bars. Right. And then it changed, and somewhere in that process here, the freedom became from freedom of myself, freedom of my thoughts, freedom of just the way I think of myself, the way I think of you, the way I think of the world, the way I even think of God.
Right.
And that changed, and I started to become a little happier. I started to become a little bit more joyous and a little bit more free. And so I started doing this thing. And I got right in the middle of the recovery community. Yeah. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with being of service to other people. And so what happened is that 19 months, I had been out on pretrial release. Yeah. Most of that at the sober living home, and last Monday I went to sentencing, and I was given a second chance at life, a second lease on life, really, is what I got. And I was given time served with 5 years of supervised release, and frankly, for no other reason other than the fact that I found recovery and I'm doing this thing. And what a miracle that is.
I have seen firsthand how you show up for men in recovery. This summer, I was working at the coffee shop at the Hub, and a gentleman came in and he was looking for some help, and the first person that I knew that we could call was you, and you dropped everything that you were doing and you came and you helped that guy. And so I love that is just like I got to witness your character when it came to really showing up for people in recovery. And so that's really cool how the miracles of recovery work.
Well, we come into it and we're so selfish. We just want to stop drinking. We just want to stop using. And it's all a very selfish motive. I just want to be right again. And when we start doing this thing, we start finding what real recovery is. And recovery is so much different than just sobriety. And so when we come into this thing, we do this the right way, we start wanting to help other people. And that's where the real joy of this whole thing is that when you start to help other people, you start to help yourself, and for some reason, you get better.
I love that. And it's so cool to see you out and living your life. You just got a new place. Yeah. You were the manager for Hope Manor for a while. Yep. So it's cool that you get to show up and be a productive member of society today.
Well, not just that, but I have a different job now where life's happening all over again. Yeah. And all of these new things that we take for granted so often, I get to appreciate. And I get to really get to stay in the moment and just be in awe of it. And that is all because of recovery, and that's the honest to God truth.
I love that. Yeah. And I love that this is not our last conversation, that we get to dive deeper into what it looks like to live a productive life in recovery. So make sure you guys stay tuned for more to come.
All right.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date with all the cool things.